physical and emotional stability. In other words, is the applicant's mental health good, or is he accident prone? Although such definitive findings here might prove difficult. Third, the authority might assure that the danger to or from third parties, in terms of, in other words, are there children that live in the household, or are there children that might have access to firearms? And finally, where are we here? Fourth, the issuing authority must determine whether the threat to the applicant or other causal situation is as real as the applicant asserts. In other words, is there a clear and present danger to the applicant, his spouse, his family, or his employees? Finally, if the danger is manifest, the authority should determine whether that danger cannot be significantly alleviated by alternative means of security, and whether the danger, in fact, can be lawfully mitigated by the applicant's attaining a concealed weapons license. Some of the alternative means of security which should be considered would be normal law enforcement activity, special police protection, employment of a private escort or security service. All right, that is, I found that one interesting also. That is in essence what the language that's in the Attorney General's opinion. I've heard it, so I thought it was important to read that aloud because I've heard it described and essentially misunderstood in many different contexts. So I think it's important to start with that. At least that was the Attorney General's opinion. It's often been relied upon as being the law of the state of California. Okay, any quick questions? No?
Website again?
If you just go to, click on El Dorado County DA and it'll come up. If you go to Google and search on that. I can't remember. Yes, sir. Just very quickly.
Okay. You said this was in 1977?
This was a letter of opinion from 1977.
Oh, the one at the
Evelyn Under was the Attorney General at the time. Yes, sir.
Does that opinion have any effect in law other than the fact that nobody's challenged it for 32 years?
It is the opinion of the Attorney General and the opinion of the Attorney General only.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So it has no standing in law.
Generally, the way the Attorney General opinions is evaluated is that unless there's a contrary case or something else or a statute that's contrary to it, most authorities will view it as being, most regulatory agencies will view it as being the same effect as law, although a court would not. So, okay, without, and I know there's other questions. I apologize because we've got to get started. So so without any, and if there's any other questions, I'm happy to answer questions later on. But I thought it was important to have the basic framework in place. So without any further ado, and I think I feel comfortable saying that for those of you who are supporters of Second Amendment rights, as I am, the person that I would introduce to be the moderator of this event is truly a friend to all of us, and that is Assemblyman Ted Gaines.
Format's going to work. We pre-submitted 4 questions to the candidates. They're all going to answer in advance. They're all about Second Amendment and CCW issues, so they got 4 questions. After that, Assemblyman Gaines is going to go through the questions that have been submitted either online, because I had about 30 different people send me questions in advance, or what were submitted today that he's going to be able to randomly select and pick. The candidates will not answer every single question. Otherwise, it'd be 20 minutes per question. We'd be out of here either tomorrow afternoon, or you'd only get to hear 6 questions. So they do have the right to answer 2 questions that weren't asked of them. So that's the format. It's going to start going down and back again. That being said, I want to again say thank you to Assemblyman Gaines, who's done 2 events in El Dorado County today, neither of which did he do for a fundraiser. He did it all for free, and it's an excellent thing that we get a politician that's not just doing things for the bottom line pocketbook of his fundraising.
All right, how's everybody doing? Yeah, thank you so much for having me this evening, and what a great opportunity. Before I get started, I've got to clarify, though, that there are battles going on a lot of different fronts throughout the state of California, and the one I just fought before I came here had to do with the John Marshall Coloma State Park, and we've got to fight and keep that park open. It has to do with the heritage of the state of California, the discovery of gold. So if you can help me on that front too. I know we're challenged with the budget and a number of different areas here in the state, but I could really use your help there. I'd like to tell you just a little bit about my background briefly. I've got 6 children, 5 daughters and a son, girls basketball team and a coach, and I've really enjoyed serving in the assembly, but I'm a small businessman and I really covet the fact that I've got a beautiful family. And I want to do everything I can to protect my children in the state of California, especially in my assembly district. And we are battling on a lot of different fronts. Right now there's a challenge going on with early release of prisoners. 27,000 prisoners in the state of California could be released. And I'm going to need your help in that regard. It's scary. There are 62 felonies that will go to a sentencing commission to have them turn into wobblers that could become misdemeanors and let these folks out. Okay, now in the most recent case with J.C. Dugard, that guy was a prior criminal, okay? He had sexually abused someone, he was a rapist, okay? And look at what happened there. So when we have people like that, we got to go after them and we got to get them behind bars. I support the death penalty, there's a reason for that. They're scumbags. There are scumbags out there that in my mind ought to be taken care of. I'm a Christian. And they'll meet their maker. Okay? As far as the forum that we've got here, the CCW forum, we've got some excellent candidates here for sheriff. And I would ask that we all remain civil. Okay, we're all very passionate, I understand that. But we want to make sure we're hearing from the candidates on this issue and that we are civil, the candidates are civil, you as members of the audience are civil, and we're going to have a great time this evening. I want to clarify, I haven't endorsed any candidate. Okay, so I'm just listening. We've got great quality people here, and you're going to get an opportunity to see where they stand on issues. As you know, I support the Second Amendment in a big way. I just think it's a foundational issue for Americans that we should never stop fighting on, because there's a constant barrage of challenges coming at all levels of government against us. And as far as concealed weapons are concerned, I support the permit process. I think we ought to make sure that people can get them, in my mind, more easily. We should never have a situation where someone needed a concealed weapon. Harm was done to them as a result of not getting the permit that they needed. Okay, that's just critical. I want to make sure that these people are mentally stable, that they're good citizens of our community, but that has to be balanced with the need of people to bear an arm when they feel like they're in harm's way. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on here. I'd like to just briefly introduce the candidates. This should be from my left. Candidate number 1 is Craig Thurkelson. Okay, so you please Ernie Hillman. Larry Hendick. Stan Perez.